with him. He was too much on the back foot. You wanted to turn him into a front foot fighter. How did you go about that? Because that couldn't have been an easy transition.
Well, we worked countless hours in the gym, on the pads, on the bags, you know, discussing what was required to go to a different level. Because when I first met Ricky, I was astounded with the speed that he had, and he has got a fantastic boxing brain. So it wasn't as hard as what I thought it would be because of the boxing brain that he's got. You know, he managed to take things on board and implement them into his boxing.
Billy says you managed to take things on board. From the fighter's point of view, was it easy?
It was just getting used to obviously the different training methods. For my first fight with Billy, it was after the Carl Johansson fight. Fight by fight, you could see the improvements. You could see that I was getting a lot more aggressive. I was starting to go forward a lot more, and now we've ended up where I'm at today.
When did you think it all kind of clicked with him? He totally got what you were trying to get across to him.
Well, there was a period of time where I think Ricky had 5 fights in maybe 13, 14 weeks, and everything was just falling into place fight after fight. And then I knew, I had a feeling that this guy could maybe win a domestic title. But then he just seemed to just get better and better and better, and I was like, oh.
It seems to be of being underrated. What would you say was one of his probably the most underrated assets he has?
His speed's frightening. His speed is frightening. Puts his shots together well, but he's got an engine in him that's just very, very similar to Scott Harrison. An engine that you'd die for as a boxer.
We looked at one of his fights from last year when he fought Beltran earlier on. That showed everything: character in this young man, boxing ability, and a maturity.
Well, definitely. I mean, the bravery he showed here was unbelievable. I can't think anybody that would want to fight 10 rounds with a broken jaw, and you know, he never felt sorry for himself once. If indeed he did feel sorry for himself, he certainly didn't show it. And if he did that, then I would have pulled the fight. But he was always in this fight, in my opinion.
There's one thing that I see that you've got, and that's a decent jab. And I think people think it's not as successful, not as accurate as what we saw there. At times when things were hard, things were tight, and you were still boxing with a broken jaw.
Joe, I've said all along, and Billy's, I'd say that his opinion's exactly the same. A jab can win you a fight. Everything comes off the jab. You can see in that fight there, because of the injury happened so early on, the tactics went out the window. But when I was trying to use my jab, you can see that I was keeping him away. But my attitude in that fight was I went into survival mode, and I had no option but to try and hold on and spoil.
Beltran marched him down, put him down, and he still showed the guts, the heart to manage to get back up.
Definitely. I mean, Beltran, you could see for the third round onwards, his confidence was growing and growing, because he obviously knew, he sensed that his opponent's injured, Ricky's injured. His confidence levels would have went through the roof.
Okay, let's look at those confidence levels. If you get here against the rope, Ricky, at times when your jaw was broken, you know, you had to fight off the back with your back against the ropes.
Yep.
You had to change tactics, because for you, would that have been the safest place to be in that situation with a broken jaw?
Well, definitely not. No, the middle of the ring would have been the better place.
So from a trainer's point of view, you come here, you show me. From a trainer's point of view, what would you want to be whispered in his ear when this was happening?
Well, every time Beltran got him on the ropes, he was always trying to aim to the body. And, you know, he was always trying to finish with left hooks, because he did have a decent left hook.
Yeah.
But when he got Ricky into this position, I just want Ricky to step forward and spoil his work.
Did he do that at any point in the fight?
He done it regularly. He had to do it.
I'd say there was times where I was doing it, but there was also times where I was maybe getting guilty, just standing, trying to cover up, whereas I should have been stepping in, stealing ground and spoiling a lot more. So
you've managed to show that, you've managed to show what you would have done and where he was. You weren't happy with him with his back against the ropes at this point, would you?
No,
where would you have preferred him? Show him where you would.
Well, I would want him in the middle of the ring, try to work behind his jab.
Yeah.
But in the same respect, you know, if Beltran hits him, you know, he's in a whole world of trouble with that broken jaw.
So, OK, he's got a tough fight in front of him against Terence Crawford. Yep. We're expecting dramas. We know he's got a good jab, got good movement, a great heart. How would you expect him to deal with such a slick fighter?
Well, it's a different set of circumstances altogether this time. I want Ricky to be in the middle of the ring, work behind the jab.
Take the middle of the ring.
If he's Terence Crawford, I want him to dictate the distance for here, slip his punches and come over the top, work him to the body, but be extra busy. You know, take him out, take Terence out his comfort zone. I don't think he's been took out that comfort zone as yet.
Do you agree with that?
I think in this fight the jab is going to be the key.
Show me that jab. It's very long.
Everything comes off the jab.
Yeah.
Even when I'm sitting in the two,
he's not an easy target to hit. He's slick.
Exactly, but that's when you start doubling up and start bringing in your combinations. But as I said, a jab can win you a fight alone.
And that's one difference that you've made once you joined in. When it wasn't just a single jab he was throwing that we got from him. All of a sudden it was a couple of jabs then finished off with a left-right or quick combination. That finish. Definitely.
I mean, the old Ricky Burns used to hit you with a jab, as great as it was, then he'd move it away. Then he'd move to the side, which is still a great, thing to possess. If he's ever in trouble, if he ever needs a wee breather, if the guy's trying to set about him, he'll step away and get a wee breather and get back behind the jab.